Criminal damage. What could that possibly be? It sounds serious, but what does it really mean?
The legal definition of criminal damage is someone who intentionally or recklessly damages or destroys property belonging to another person.
And that means what exactly?
It's different things to different people.
Graffiti.
Arson.
Malicious damage to people's personal property.
Graffiti.
Broken windows.
General property damage.
Or more broken windows.
Windows in the bus shelters and such like.
Graffiti.
Tags.
Broken windows, graffiti.
Graffiti.
So it's a fancy name for graffiti. That's not too serious. Only a bit of graffiti, isn't it? This is Kev. Kev's a nice kid. This is Kev's room. Nice, isn't it? It's full of nice stuff. Look, Kev's TV, Kev's hi-fi, Kev's CDs and DVDs. And look, there's Kev's PlayStation. Nice. Lots of nice things. And they're all Kev's. Kev has a nice room. Kev likes his room. But he doesn't spend all his time in his room. Kev goes out.
Criminal damage affects people in many, many ways.
If criminal damage isn't dealt with, people are affected because if an environment's not clean and safe, it enhances fear of crime.
It also has got a damaging effect on their quality of life by just expecting that there's going to be more and more problems at particular times. Align it to the Mayor of New York quite a few years ago when he had this broken window syndrome, where you get one broken window which develops into more and more broken windows and more graffiti. If
fear and crime is enhanced, people aren't happy living in areas, people then move away, the cycle of crime will continue.
There is a problem with criminal damage in Hull, but Hull is no worse than any other town or city across the country. The
action we take to combat criminal damage is to make sure we put enhanced patrols in hotspot areas.
The action that the police take to combat criminal damage is to increase highly visible patrols in the area, to investigate offences, to identify the offenders and then to prosecute them. As long as that's maintained, it does reduce it. However, if that hotspot decreases and the patrols are taken away, then it can increase again unless something else is done to combat the problem.
Here's Kev out of his room. Kev likes this street. We know because of this. Kev likes to put his name on things, don't you, Kev? Kev's a tagger. The main problem is, if Kev does it, and no one does anything about it, then so will this person. And this person. The rates of criminal damage in Hull are dropping. The detection rates are up. The main reason for this is
CCTV.
CCTV.
CCTV. It's everywhere. There are very few places where it isn't watching. And this is the man who is watching the CCTV.
I'm Gary Cooper, I'm the Systems and Operations Coordinator here at Civic 1, the CCTV control room. The effectiveness of CCTV is probably best measured by its partners, such as the police. Certainly as far as the information that we've gathered and the operational stuff we've done for the police is concerned, we've made a real difference. The cameras are probably more powerful than ordinary members of the public would realise. We have an optical zoom range which allows us to zoom into the Humber Bridge from a point probably 4 miles away. The cameras are also able to read newspaper print from probably 200 metres away. We work very closely with the police, also the antisocial behaviour teams, street scene enforcement and other agencies such as the Fire Brigade, Trading Standards, Public Protection, even social services. We work with any agency that can find a use for CCTV. Primarily the police, who would be responsible for investigating incidents of criminal damage. But we also work very closely with the antisocial behaviour teams who would address the problems with those individuals committing that kind of damage, and also with street scene enforcement. Street scene are the people or the council's body that are responsible for cleaning up and ensuring that the city streets remain clean, tidy and user-friendly. Members of the public can assist in helping deal with criminal damage by reporting the problem. We collate information from the police and from our partners, and if the public are reporting that problem, then that information will eventually find its way back to us.
Quite often if I'm dealing with a victim who was suffering quite a lot with criminal damage, I will give them a direct number to the CCTV suite where they can ring up and ask for the camera to be pointed in the direction of their property if they fear that anything is going to happen. And the staff who work in the CCTV suite work very, very closely with the police.
The first instance is to report there is a problem. It doesn't mean necessarily dialing the control centre or 300 directly, but report the problem to the police or to the local antisocial behaviour officer. We do have problems with individuals. Certainly they become known by their tags, so you get the same tag appearing at different locations all over the city. In the instance of graffiti, criminal damage does tend to be a repeated offence, and you do tend to get the same tags, the identity symbol, the graffiti artists use appearing time and time again. We had one specific instance where a gentleman who we shall call Kev, actually as well as his tag, left his full name and the date that he'd been there. Of course it was very easy to locate him in the city centre and guide the police there, and that gentleman has now been dealt with by the courts.
Kev thinks that no one knows that he tags his name. He thinks that there are lots of people called Kev in the world, and only he knows that Kev the tagger is him. He thinks wrong. The CCTV only needs to catch him once, but then the police know that this tag is his, and this tag is his, and this tag is his, and now they know it's easy enough to find him.
The greatest deterrent for people who commit damage has to be a court punishment of some description, whether it's a fine or a community order or some form of imprisonment.
I know that there are fines out there, and people who are caught on either CCTV or at the act will be either told to replace or pay for the damage they've done.
For example, a young person who is prosecuted for a minor offence of criminal damage, if it's a first-time offence, then they're likely to receive possibly a reprimand or a final warning. People also, on conviction, are often given an antisocial behaviour order which is tagged on to the end of the punishment, which will continue for a period of 2, 3, 4, 5 years after that conviction has been served. For somebody who commits the most extreme form of criminal damage, which is arson with intent to endanger somebody's life, they can receive life imprisonment.
Here's Kev again in his nice room. Kev doesn't look too happy, does he? Maybe you can watch your TV, Kev. Looks like that's not your TV anymore, is it, Kev? Maybe you shouldn't have written on Mr. and Mrs. Reeves' wall. Never mind, Kev. You've still got your nice PlayStation. Oh, you haven't? Hull City Council own that, don't they? For clean-up costs. But at least you've got an ASBO, Kev. And a criminal record. And the possibility of going to jail if you do it anymore.
It's so unfair.
Yes, Kev. It is nice.